We'll start on his side.
It'll be an interesting showcase, and obviously the 𝗬𝗎𝗻 is going to play a big role in pushing this forward for the side of Dmano, but it gets banned straight up outright. So
wow, what respect on 𝗬𝗎𝗻's name. I never thought in the finals, nonetheless, we'll see a turn opening 𝗬𝗎𝗻 ban. the respect earned from 𝗬𝗎𝗻. And wait, let's think about it a little bit. Why did 𝗬𝗎𝗻 get banned? I mean, it has earth techniques for the Riken, the 𝗲𝗏.
well, consider
Funkyhao.
it this way. Yeah.
I was
There's
just
no
say,
melee type.
yeah, okay. Yeah, you're exactly
for
right,
the side of
Blue.
Funky. So it would just be neutral all the way through, on top of autonomy, on top of a lot of utility. So I think that's Funkyhao's logic there. On top of Earthbreaker as well. There's just a lot of damage that maybe Funkyhao just wasn't interested in. But if I'm being honest, I would have banned an 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗶. That 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗶 did a lot of work when we watched it.
Yeah, and to be fair, Funkyhao, he is the 𝗲𝗏 master, so saying, I eat up 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗶s for lunch, breakfast, and dinner, so maybe leaving that one alone. He did have a good answer, but 𝗬𝗎𝗻 is taken away from Funky, so gonna have to find a different way. Keeps the Kinu, has the 𝗬𝗂𝗏, but so does Dmano, has that 𝗧𝗵𝗵 and 𝗵𝗻 chilling in the back there too, so this is gonna be a sweaty game indeed. But you know, 𝗬𝗵𝗆 still does 4x damage to 𝗬𝗎𝗻, but hey, I'm just impressed that Funky did decide to ban it. Let's see if it was the correct ban, if he keeps going for game 2, or maybe just, I don't want to say for the memes or anything. I think there was definitely some good logic behind it. But 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗶s, as you said, Blue, does get picked up for Dmano, and trying to round out his team. He has the options between Yowler and 𝗵𝗻, and does decide on that 𝗵𝗻.
For sure. Funkyhao will be running that Riken and the 𝗬𝗵𝗆 together versus this 𝗬𝗵𝗆 and Mix. So obviously, Dmano on the back foot right away, but at the same time, it's not crazy to think that he might just try and rob this Riken of mobility, let the Mix drop maybe, and then swap in a 𝗵𝗻. It's just weird because there's a lot of things here Dmano doesn't really like, especially with this Crystal Tem and the 𝗧𝗵𝗵 right now. Again, the Riken pressure is a bit strong.
Yeah, that is the understatement. Riken does so much work into a lot of the team. 𝗵𝗻's the only thing that can eat it up, but 𝗬𝗵𝗆 being on the same board also kind of puts that 𝗵𝗻 into check. So I don't know, maybe Funkyhao is thinking something like a plague into a 𝗧𝗏𝗺 on that mix spot. If it becomes 𝗵𝗻, it does take, still takes a decent amount of damage. The only Temtem that can eat that somewhat well is exactly this Temtem right here. It will be 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗆s. So that's what Diego is reading, but Funkyhao reading that play goes into 𝗬𝗵𝗆. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 might be doing a lot of damage. Is it 69 damage? We have to find out.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we say it's nice damage all the time, but is it really? No, not quite there. So 𝗬𝗵𝗆 survives on both ends. Funkyhao has the speed arrow, though. Bear in mind. So Dmano should have a dead 𝗬𝗵𝗆 here. There's nothing to stop this. Dmano has nothing fast enough to stop this double fox. Unless EM somehow managed to do 42% 𝗬𝗵𝗆 HP, this is a guaranteed pick-off here.
Yeah, absolutely right. We saw it go first the first turn, but no, Funkyhao foregoing the kill there. I think he's baiting the plague onto Momo and trying to get a good old prideful buff kill. Yes, 𝗧𝗏𝗺 for the kill, getting that prideful buff. So beautiful play from Funkyhao, getting things started. And we all know prideful buffs start to steamroll the things.
No. But remember, the 𝗬𝗎𝗻𝗆's damage beta burst is just so damn strong. Now Mud Shower available as well, and yes, the Riken got his buff. Whoop-de-doo, right? But now the Momo is in danger, the Riken is in danger, and potentially, actually, Funky might be considering undermine 𝗧𝗏. No, absolutely not. Doesn't want to risk it. So 𝗬𝗵𝗆 comes back in, but once again, this Momo now in peril. Also swapped out here for Funky, just playing it the absolute safest he humanly can. Maybe perhaps predicting a double swap here, but nothing of the sort. EM will be used to try and do some damage on this Kinu. Unfortunately, the Kinu will be stabilized. The Thunder Strike as well will hit nothing. Quarter damage absorbed completely by the Wolfie.
Yeah, not too shabby there. Beautiful swap out for the side of Funky. And has some decent pressure back on the board of Diego here. So as we saw, does Vortex tends to do a great deal amount. So much so that something like a Beta Burst does Vortex might be enough. But no, Kinu saving down for a later date. 𝗵𝗠𝗀 gets replaced. So coming in with those wind typings for 𝗃𝗏𝗺. So mix well read from Diego as well. Bringing in that crystal typing for the potential 𝗵𝗠𝗀 here.
Ooh, so Psychic Collaborator completely dodged by the Devil Fox, and now 𝗵𝗠𝗀 on the field to pressure this 𝗃𝗏𝗺 out.
That was huge. A beautiful bush from the side of Funky right there. And yeah, Psychic Collaborator was hungry. It was looking to get a kill on anything. Even that +1 special defense would have still gone down. I believe one of the heaviest hitting, if not the heaviest hitting technique in our game. With the synergy, of course, which Mix provided that. But now, this was so well played from Diego too. 𝗵𝗠𝗀 was doing a lot of pressure onto 𝗃𝗏𝗺. But now Diego's saying, leave the 𝗵𝗠𝗀. I have this Mix staring it dead in the face. Crystal Spikes. So yeah, Funkyhao flinching the 𝗵𝗠𝗀 for now. Bringing in the Riken, expecting the Crystal Spike. Let's see if he played that right here.
Swap out here for the Cernive comes through, and the play to follow up on the Mix, but Mix doesn't die. But remember, this Riken is gonna probably want to take a hit down the line. So this Mix will have to do some work ASAP, and in fact it does. Oh no, it doesn't even do enough. The Wolfie stays alive.
Yeah, it looks like that Kinu buff keeping everything rather healthy for the side of Devil Fox. Not too healthy, it is at 14.5, but healthier than it would otherwise. Now the question is, can the Mix be brought down from the 𝗧𝗏𝗺? It looks like this Kinu making this Riken even more ferocious. Is he gonna get another kill? I believe he will. 𝗧𝗏𝗺 will, or most likely will, be bringing the Mix all the way down, especially with that +1 attack here.
Look at this Riken. It has +1 in everything. How do you even manage that? Meteor Swarm to double kill will be absolutely disgusting. Doesn't quite get there, but 1 kill is pretty good to me. Cleaning up there, and my god.
Yeah, that is a huge sight to see. +2 attack, +2 special attack, +1 defense, +2 speed, +1 special defense. This is 100% a raid boss Riken, and it looks like it's only going to be stronger every single turn. Cernive on death's door. One 𝗧𝗏𝗺 will be bringing it down, and let's see the back line. I guess 𝗃𝗏𝗺 seems to be the appropriate swap right there, but something's telling me Funkyhao, oh no, Riken is trapped, so it has to stay in here.
Right, and this is the big deal. Now the 𝗃𝗏𝗺 has to somehow do as much damage as possible. The Riken is getting so buffed. It is a monster. It is the king of the savannah, and the Beta Burst most likely will just get shock absorbed. Look at that, 19% damage from a 𝗃𝗏𝗺 that shredded through Temtem usually.
And what a bold play right here from Funkyhao, bringing out the 𝗵𝗠𝗀. Even though the 𝗃𝗃𝗺 is currently on the board, we all know 𝗃𝗃𝗺 does 4x damage. It could be a bit of a bait and switch. Maybe Momo is still going to come out to get some good 𝗧𝗏 synergy, but no, Emperor is still doing 50%, a little bit more. The Tornado, all right, he's just letting the 𝗵𝗠𝗀 go here. Well played though.
Oh, I see what happened. There. So, plus, Funkyhao thought Tornado would go before Riken Embers, but vice versa happened, so Prideful didn't apply on the Riken.
Very true, very true. He was looking for another one, but to be fair, he doesn't even need it, man. He's already on the snowball down the mountain. Is getting bigger and bigger. This Cernive looking like lunch once again for this 𝗧𝗏𝗺 Riken. There's nothing really going to be checking the Riken. It is at +3 special defense. So something like a Mud Shower's Grumper, not even enough. And to make matters worse, Raikin once again outspeeding.
Oh my god, just collecting. Absolutely collecting. The best part about Raikin getting the buff is you know exactly how many people it's killed. Undermine, used on the Grumper, but surviving just barely. The special attack down, though, is a massive, massive L. Because that means Thunderstrike, even though he gets the kill, now we'll struggle against a Raikin who's just getting stronger and stronger. It's just, I don't think it's possible. The 𝗬𝗶𝗶 even still alive. The Plague goes before the animation finished, was it? Did you see that?
That was
blast?
ultra speed
sick.
right there.
That was kind of sick, you know.
Yeah, and guys, take a picture before we don't see it anymore. The stacked up Raikin. And you know what, Blue? He clicked the button so fast that he broke the game. He broke the game. Funkyhao, such a powerhouse in this tournament, breaking the game. All right,
yeah,
thank
I have
you,
to
Funky.
reset. Oh baby, the Yowler is out.
And so is the Gyarados. So Funkyhao not banning it this time does bring in the Gyarados. So it was the bans Grumper and 𝗬𝗶𝗶. Those are the bans. And on the side of Funkyhao, 𝗬𝗏𝗏, as Tello said, Dmano had to respect the 𝗬𝗏𝗏. So respecting it with the ban. However, now Raikin feels okay once again. Raikin, I almost wanted it to be the ban for Dmano, but I guess Dmano felt confident going toe-to-toe with it. But this is indeed game number 2. Funkyhao at game point for potentially doing one of the most impossible things ever. 3-time champion Funkyhao might ring a bell, but Dmano, Diego trying to make that not happen for himself. So let's take a look. Yeah, it is game number 2 here.
Blade connects onto the Yowler. Just applying some pressure, also caging it, of course. So that's a lot of damage to follow through for the Gatling as well onto the mix. Again, this is standard play, especially with a mix setup. You want to get that 𝗬𝗏𝗏 in a position where the DV will secure the kill. And hang on, plus late tournament incoming.
Oh.
Let's go! Absolute devastation! Oh my god, that animation is so sick.
That is right, and it locked the camera right above it, man. The late tournament's so strong, and man, Dmano doing some nice tech stuff. We usually see handcuffs on the 𝗬𝗏𝗏, but of course there's a doppelganger 𝗬𝗏𝗏. Handcuffs on the mix for these nice turn 1 plays. 𝗬𝗏𝗏 completely out of there, and you know what? Funkyhao was setting up for that turn 2 does Vortex onto the mix, which is why he Feather Gatling the mix, but that turn no longer around for him. However, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 may be able to dish out around the same damage. It's still super effective, but the cage keeping everything in. So Blue, is it another one?
Oh my god. DJ Khaled, where you at? Crystal Dust to follow through, trying to get the kill in the mix, but puts it in Puppet Master range instead. Toxic Plume to secure it. Instead, also the attack down on the Yowler, definitely not bad. But DJ Khaled in the house, another one into the bowler and will survive because of that attack down. But I mean, you know, as most great things are, they come in 3s plus.
Okay, and man, Funkyhao biting himself just a tiny little bit, wishing he went for a Crystal Spike instead of the Dust. Mix surviving by 1.3%. Crystal Spike definitely would have done the remaining HP. So man, a bit of a slight hiccup. A Hyperkinetic Strike plus a Crystal Spike will be enough to take care of the Yowler. So no more late tournament shenanigans. Yowler, or Teddy the Yowler, does indeed fall down.
Absolutely, and I think, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure Funky is sick of it. He is sick of the late torments, absolutely wrecking face. But 2 kills and the damage has been done. And Mix doesn't care about that attack down. No, sir. 1.3% HP and a dream. And that dream is coming to a reality because Gary and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 have no direct weaknesses right now.
Yeah, very true. And 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃 and 𝗧𝗏𝗺 do a lot into the two of those Temtems. 𝗏𝗏 and Momo can't handle those, but Raikkonen feeling okay. But Gario, as you said, those clay balls, those earth breakers, those are earth techniques that should be doing a decent amount against Raikkonen, which might explain why he chose not to ban the Raikkonen, because Gario might be the MVP that Dmano needed. But 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃 is going to be coming onto this board, perhaps expecting the Momo, but nope, it looks like the Raikkonen coming out to play. So 𝗧𝗏𝗺𝗃 neutral synergy is online to his side with the neutral typing in 𝗏𝗏. So we'll see, can Raikkonen get out of hand? He does have AoE techniques, but they are not online as it's for the first turn Raikkonen is here. So Meteor Swarm online next turn, but this turn he only has things like Embers and 𝗧𝗏𝗺𝗃.
You know what would be insane? Oh, I was going to say, what would be insane here is that if 𝗏𝗏 decided to Madness buff, because there's not enough pressure here to do it, and he does! Oh my god, he read my mind, baby! That EM will go through, but it will not be enough for sure. But as I mentioned, because the 𝗏𝗏 wasn't, really vulnerable to an insta-gimp, that Madness buff was free. But you know what isn't free? A Gario kill, because he's gonna have to work for it. There's nothing to counteract this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Blue. This is such a perfect swap in. 𝗏𝗏 doing half effective damage. The Raikkonen doing I think half effective. Wait, no, 1/4, right? Earth and water.
Yes, 1/4 is earth water. This Raikkonen is completely countered.
Yeah, and what a beautiful handcuff. This mix surviving making all the difference for Diego. Well played. Great TVs. Perhaps a greedy 𝗧𝗏 by himself right now. Maybe won't make the same play in game 3. If it goes there, we'll have to see. But Momo coming into play. So Undermine does go online. And what a read. Gets the energy manipulation onto the Momo. Well done.
I believe the Mix had no choice there. He was completely out of stamina, so the only safe move. But regardless, the Aqua Stone. Look at this. Meteor Swarm to secure the kill on the Mix, actually. Perhaps keeping the Mix was the blunder, because now the Raikkonen is starting to build momentum. But as I say that, there's still no way to kill Gary except for the Momo.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a blunder. I think it was a nice sacrificial play right there. Trapping the Momo so you get a crazy beta burst. So this is a potential double kill. Maybe not a potential. This might be a guaranteed double kill for the side of Diego, making that 𝗏𝗏 potentially the only thing standing in the way for Dmano bringing things back. And it is quite the answer, but not against Gario here.
Fierce Claw doing its best, so the Undermine has to kill. It doesn't! Gario, he is resilient. Axolotl can grow limbs back, and Gario, he's growing HP back. Beta Burst will get the kill on the Momo. It's just not quite there. And the Flood to slow down this Raikkonen even further.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that play. Was it just because he didn't have any attacks? No Clay Ball, no Earth Breaker? Why Flood? You had kill on Raikkonen. 𝗧𝗏𝗺𝗃 synergy is now online. I don't know if that's a costly mistake, but you had a kill. You had a kill on a Raikkonen and it did not take it right there. But we'll see. Of course, Diego's in here for a reason, has a game plan in mind. So let's see. Was that the blunder? Because you had to take Raikkonen out while you can.
For sure. Now that's 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃 at risk because the Crystal Spike is Madness buff. Goodbye. 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗃 with Strange Vest as well. So 𝗏𝗏 will heal up and the Raikkonen will Fierce Claw the 𝗧𝗏𝗺. So as you mentioned, plus this is not... Oh, he overexerted! The Raikkonen overexerted! This 𝗏𝗏 is exposed!
Yeah, exposed and not at the same time. A Crystal Dust will clean up the Gario and then a heavy Crystal Spike next turn. Followed by a Raikkonen that 𝗧𝗏𝗺 can't take down. I think Funkyhao might be our 3-time weekly tournament champion. Very close. I think Diego had this one in the bag. He just needed to use Earthbreaker. He just needed to use another offensive attack to kill Raikkonen, and I believe he could have had it. But yeah, simple Sea Dust cleans up the Gario, and just 𝗧𝗏𝗺 doesn't have what it takes right now.
He gets the kill on Raikkonen, but Madness buff 𝗏𝗏 versus Solid Stall, I mean, it's just not gonna be enough. C-Spikes almost instant gives the Tourney, and the WCL, you know for a fact, will not have the same effect. And, oh, he gets quite close to the 50% mark. Maybe if the Tourney went first, there was a shot in the dark, but a shot in the dark nonetheless. As the C-Spikes puts the nail in the coffin for Dmano, and Funkyhao takes the finals and wins. Plus Tourney number 38.
That is